Two West Virginia bills aim to protect minors from obscene performances and materials, and that's where I take issue with the fact that you are just calling trans people existing obscene. Alright, so content warning. I'm gonna talk about trans issues, and that may be triggering. If you don't want to participate and hear about all the laws, the assault on the trans community that's going on in the state legislatures, then come back in like 30 minutes. I think we'll be done with them by then. I'm going to start off going to the ACLU having attacks on the LGBTQ rights in U.S. state legislatures. South Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota. Minnesota, what is wrong with you? No, it is not one of the states that has the most bills being proposed. 185 anti-LGBTQ bills in the state legislatures for the 2023 legislative session. The ones in dark purple, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, we're going to highlight Missouri here in a second, Indiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, South Carolina, Virginia. Those are the ones that have the most 10 plus bills being proposed. Even New Jersey getting in on the action. It is incredibly disturbing. Oh yeah! GenCon 480, good evening. Just the number here, I'm going to let you guys, I'm going to link it in here. We're going to highlight a few of the more oppressive ones. You guys want to do the tracker that goes state by state and let you know exactly going, well, I'm surprised Alabama's on here because I've got a horrific story about Alabama I'm getting ready to tell you about. They're just not proposing that many bills in the state legislature. Apparently none this session. But I think their legislature only meets every couple of years, so it could quite possibly be that they're not even in session. That could be why they're not proposing any bills. Nabil, hop in here? How did Not Anonymous follow me 13 minutes ago? Were you already following me? Oh well. Most dangerous session we've seen. If you're just joining us, we are going through some heavy topics here. Bills targeting the LGBTQ community. Missouri leads the nation in anti-LGBTQ legislation. For State Senator Greg Razor, the only openly gay member of the Missouri Senate, it's painful to watch his colleagues file an onslaught of bills that attack his community. He worries about LGBTQ kids in Missouri. It hurts because I was a 17-year-old suicidal gay kid. I know what that pain feels like, and that hurts. Razor, a Kansas City Democrat, told the Star, "What I have to do is make sure that those kids that are out there and their parents and the people that love them know that somebody in the Senate is standing up for them. May not be able to stop everything, but there's going to be a fight." Missouri lawmakers have filed the most anti-LGBTQ bills of any state, according to a database from the ACLU. As of January 12th, at least 27 anti-LGBTQ bills have already been introduced by Missouri Republicans, accounting for roughly 21% of legislation introduced nationwide in state legislatures that target the community. Texas is second with 15 bills, followed by South Carolina with 12. Some of the bills target gender transition therapy. Several are entirely or nearly identical. I would assume up by ALEC. I always get the acronym wrong, the American Legislative. I got it right that time. The American Legislative Exchange Council. This is an organization basically puts forward these generic bills. They just give them to Republicans, and the Republicans do their bidding. The principles of limited government, free markets, and federalism. Limited government, my ass. An ass that I can assure you I washed.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
Under West Virginia bills, exposing minors to transgender people could be a crime. Just letting a kid hang out with a transgender people are super cool. Most of them play like board games and shit and video games. I'm kind of stereotyping, but it's true. Tabletop games and shit. They fucking love that shit. Kids would love to be around transgender people. We should make it more open for children to be around transgender people, because trans people are cool. Yeah, there's a meme. Jen, we're on your side then. We love you very much. There's a meme that says if a trans girl invites you over to play blah blah blah, don't do it. It's not a euphemism for sex. You're going to be playing a tabletop game for 14 hours. Yes. That is true. I can confirm that's true. Speaking from my personal experience, it's anecdotal, I know. 2 West Virginia bills aim to protect minors from obscene performances and materials, and that's where I take issue with the fact that you are just calling trans people existing obscene. Bear Lamb, good evening. We talked about a lot of shit yesterday. 2 West Virginia bills aim to protect minors from obscene performances and materials, which the bill defined in part as anything that includes exposure to or performances by transgender people. So basically, transgender people existing. That's horrible. That is reprehensible. The bill was introduced this week by State Senator Michael Azinger, a Republican. Of course, it was a Republican. Would prohibit obscene and sexually explicit materials in or within 2,500 feet of the state's schools, and would bar children from being present for obscene performances or displays. That's awfully vague. The bill's 4-point definition of obscene matter is, for the most part, general and includes material that appeals to the prurient interest. Am I going to have to learn a new word? Play off of puritanical?
Prurient.
Prurient. Having or encouraging an excessive interest in sexual matters.
You live in sexual anarchy?
Prurient. Prurient interest, or that is patently offensive. Sounds like this show. It outlawed this show. This bill outlawed this show. No other group of people or a specific type of performance is included, just transvestite and or transgender exposure. Fuck off. Fuck you fucks. School personnel who violate the school-related bill SB 252 could be charged with a misdemeanor, which can carry a fine of up to $500 and up to 1 year in prison. Sick indeed. I mean, it was all fun and games for the longest time here on the show. I'd just be like, haha, right-wingers are morons. They're fucking evil. Unconstitutionally vague. That's exactly right, Mox. Footloose. It's the city, or the town. It wasn't even a city. It was the town from Footloose. The courts aren't going to save us. In Alabama, a sickening thing is going on as Alabama is asking for children's medical records. In a transgender medical care lawsuit, Alabama officials are arguing for the state's ban on gender-affirming care for minors, have asked a judge to compel plaintiffs to turn over LGBTQ children's medical records. Bo v. Marshall is brought by 5 parents who argue a 2022 state law strips them of the right to make important decisions about their children's health care. The Vulnerable Child Compassion and Protection Act, which was signed into law by Governor Kay Ivey. Governor Meemaw is her name, bans puberty blockers, hormone therapy, and gender-affirming surgeries for minors. The law punishes not only doctors, but also any other individual who prescribes or administers the treatment with a felony conviction and up to 10 years in jail. Last year, a district court judge blocked parts of the law from taking effect. State officials appealed that decision up to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. In the meantime, some aspects of the original lawsuit are still being considered by U.S. District Judge Lyles Burke. Defendants, including Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall, argue that since parents and other plaintiffs believe hormone therapy and puberty blockers are medically necessary, they should provide their own children's medical records. After bringing an action premised on obtaining appropriate and essential medical care for the minor plaintiffs refused to turn over the medical records necessary to assess their claims, lawyers for the defendant said, calling the information highly relevant. Defendants in the case, including Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall, and I believe asking for these records is an attempt to silence the people suing the state of Alabama. Defendants in the case, including Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall, are asking the parents of transgender youth to produce the following records according to a motion filed on Thursday. All medical records in your possession of any child of yours which relates to treatment of gender dysphoria. All documents in your possession of any mental health treatment. Juge. And I'm probably fucking that up really bad. What's going on, my friend? Yeah, we're not fluent in Mandarin over here, but we do welcome you to the chat. We're totally cool with the Chinese. Chinese people are okay in my book. Weird to have to say that. Xiao Zhe, maybe? Xiao Zhai? If you give me a phonetical pronunciation, I'll get it right. This is a lawsuit against the state of Alabama to stop their gender-affirming care law from going into effect. They are asking specifically for the medical records of the children of the parents who are bringing the lawsuit against the state. And I promise you that is an underhanded attempt to try to silence them and to get them to drop the lawsuit. His right wingers are horrendous. Saying that China is strong and we are all defeated. He might be telling the truth. Just saying, maybe. There are, so here's the thing is like China's military couldn't take ours. They're still very young. They don't have the equipment that we have. Like America is still like, you know, we're good at dropping bombs. So say war breaks out in or over Taiwan and what's that strait? I didn't say that China wasn't older than the US. I didn't say that the US was older than China. I was saying that the US military is older than China's military. They have a very young military. Sorry you dropped your bong. I hate it when that happens. I didn't drop it, but like I lost a bong recently. It just, I've had it for a while. I grabbed it and it fell apart. We got more toys. Alright, so like just brute force, you can't beat the US. Chinese can't. Like it's not like we're gonna go invade China, they'd kick our ass. They tried to invade us, we'd kick their ass. So it's a weird situation we got going on. Or it does happen, it's probably gonna happen in that strait between China and Taiwan. It seems like where shit's gonna pop off, but I don't think it's in either country's best interest. But just saying, there could be some truth in what our Chinese friend is saying. Well, like there's no invasion going. I don't know what our posturing towards China means. I mean, like it's gonna be some kind of proxy war over Taiwan. China tries to take Taiwan back by force. That's the scenario we face. Say they'll eventually tangle, but like the thing that's stopping the deterrent right now is, you know, the US. The channel says it's a 18 plus, but like I don't care if anybody hangs out. The kids could be worse places. They could be consuming Andrew Tate content. Vaka said, I'm fucking your name up. Vok. Give me a phonetical pronunciation and I'll say it right. Do my best. Yeah, they could be worse places, so I mean, gotta admit they might learn a thing or two in here. I hope. Name's Bubba. What's up, Bubba? Glad to have you here. Happy to see you. Welcome into the fold. I'm Justin. We find out what that news be doing. Protesters in Arizona marched on their capital on Sunday over some of the bills being proposed in the Arizona state legislature.
It's about compassion and empathy for one another. It's about love, not hate. And that is all one party wants to do at this Capitol and around the United States, and it has to stop. And the only way it is going to stop is by showing up to events like this, telling our stories, and protecting one another, and calling out the bull when it happens.
There's no reasonable debate over our rights to self-expression, over our rights to bodily autonomy, over our rights to art and abortion. There's no reasonable debate over my right to be myself. There's no reasonable debate over my right to have the surgeries I've had, over my right to take the hormones I take, over my right to wear the clothes I wear.
Arizona loves drag! Arizona loves drag! Arizona loves drag!
Arizona loves drag!
Work for the children.
Government is putting forth bills to distract from other problems, from the actual problems. These are Trojan bills that hide other hate and things inside of it when it seeks to even criminalize our art forms, criminalize you as an individual. We have to take steps, and we cannot sit behind idly. Right now is the time to take action, more action, because they are not going to stop, and they are playing some really disgusting politics, and they're playing with our lives and our freedoms.
We are here because we love one another. And our right to exist is just as right as anybody else's. Solidarity is how we win. By bridging our communities and uniting around one solid issue, uplifting one another is our cause. That's what we need to do. Let's do it louder. We are here. We are here. We are queer. We are queer. And we are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. Real loud now. Real loud. Let's make them hear us. We are